Hello and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament Weekly Broadcast. This is Nightcat and I will be your host for today. And today we are back to resuming our usual weekly broadcasts that are not determined tournament bracket matchups. So we will be pulling from the replay channel on the SSCAIT Discord while I can, while there are some options there. Again, if you would like to have a game casted, go ahead and post a replay up there, and we will go ahead and most likely get to it. So this replay, there's actually two replays from Stardust that have been recommended. The author of Stardust has said that there is some new tech that they added in the last month while the tournament broadcasts were going on. And so one of the replays is an example of that tech working, and one is of it failing. I don't know which is which, so we'll go ahead and try and guess what that new tech might be, and also what the failure and or the success is. This is on Benzene. And we have Arias as the TL Terran down at the bottom left, and Stardust is the green Protoss up at the top right. Not used to doing these long intros while a game is actively going, so a little bit off my game there because of that. But we have gate and a core, or second gate and a core. Core just finishes up. Factory on the way for Adias. Dragoons starting to be produced along with what looks like range. Bunker is down at the natural for Adias here. Third gateway coming down for Stardust. Natural being taken for Adias, so it looked like a pretty normal game so far. Tank on the way. I imagine there are probably, there's two Marines, they're probably in that bunker. Interesting to see it's pulling these SCVs really prematurely. Really, nice pickoff on the SCV there, actually, with the two Dragoons. So maybe they aren't really pulled prematurely, based on the micro here that Stardust has. That was very, very nice. And there's the siege mode, forcing the Dragoons to back off so they don't take too much more damage. Another couple of Marines got put into the bunker just to sort of make Stardust not want to just walk by the bunker because it'll take way too much damage with 4 Marines in there firing away. More Dragoons coming out of the engineering bay on the way. As Adias really doesn't have any scouting information on what is going to be coming from Stardust. Could be Templar, could be Robotech, and oh, we actually hear half a dive. There's only one tank. Okay, there is a second tank a bit further back. Losing a bit of a bunker there, not quite getting the right positioning, but that barracks is taking a lot of damage, and now trying to dive in on this tank again. The tank just barely survives, and then the wall finally gets closed up there with that engineering bay. It's looking like Stardust is being a lot more aggressive on this front here, this front bunker. I wonder if that is what the author was talking about, because I don't remember it diving that much or that hard really trying to break that front, but now it recognizes that there is a wall there, and it's going to go ahead and actually... Oh! Maybe this is what they were talking about. There are mines there for Adias. This is quite the cheeky little play. Just go around the front with that shuttle. I didn't even see that shuttle getting made. Hello. A lot of SCVs being pulled trying to deal with this, but there are a lot of Dragoons here, so this is going to be doing a lot of damage here. There's just really not a lot of army for Adias here. Adias is kind of like relying on just that front, that choke, that Sin City, and shuttling around. Wow. Now there is an attempt at the front here too. Which, while it's not really doing damage, the main has just been cleaned up by the dragoons that are left here. That was pretty cool to see. You know, another play that I suppose the Protoss could go for would be like speed shuttles. Instead of doing just one slow shuttle, do like 4 to 5 speed shuttles and just drop in. It takes a little longer to execute, but that would kind of be cool to see some Protosses start to do. Lifting up the wall, but that's just going to backfire, because now these dragons can just dive in here. Very nicely done there by Stardust. So I'm guessing this is the game where that works. And then we'll take a look at the game where I suspect that doesn't work. And we'll see how it ends up failing, but just... that was pretty cool. Let's go ahead and speed this up a bit here to get to the end. Very, very cool. Let's go ahead and get into the next game. Our second game posted showing Stardust's new tech off, and I suspect this is going to be the game where it doesn't work so well. We have Crazio spawning as the Green Terran up at the top of destination. Stardust spawning, if I could speak right, Stardust spawning as the Teal Protoss down at the bottom of the map. We have the pylon on the way from Stardust. Scout going out for Crazio. Crazio throwing down their supply depot as well. This is Crazio, the Terran version, not Crazio P, the Protoss version, which was what was enabled for the tournament. So Crazio is back on the ladder, plugging away, getting games, getting wins, all of that fun stuff. We've got the scouts coming in here. So Crazio scouted, saw what was up. And actually, I don't know where Scout went after that. I kind of lost it on the mini-map here, but it's going ahead and taking the natural. That's a cockaroo down there. Oh, there's the Scout. Okay. Dancing around the main there. The Scout for Stardust being chased by the SCB as well. Checking out the natural. Can't quite get back into the... There it goes. Now it's getting back into the main. Maybe being a little too damage avoidant there, but you know, it's not really a big deal. Could steal the gas, but doesn't do so. Probe ends up getting caught in the end. Crazio will go ahead and take the gas. So this is a pretty greedy build here from Crazio, going for the command center, or like the Raxless, actually, command center. So that was probably like 14 command center or so. But Stardust not doing anything to punish, so Crazio is able to go ahead and get away with it. Few Marines in the bunker here. Got a machine shop coming down here now. Scout finally getting picked off there from Crazio. Natural on the way for Stardust. Let's watch for this Robotech. When does this get added? And no, I'm not talking about the anime Robotech. I'm talking about the robotics facility bay. This Scout SCV kind of wants to go out. I was like, no, wait, nope, there's a little too much out there. Just keeps backing up. So, okay, there's the Robo is on the way now. Scans coming down. See, in this is, I could sort of see a difference already where it looks like Crazio is getting a few more units, maybe? Stardust trying to do a dive here. Will take the tank out, but there is another tank that actually moved back up onto the high ground. And Stardust will respect that tank that was on the high ground and back up a bit. But that was some damage on the Dragoons there. Needs to be careful because it's going to need Dragoons to actually ferry into the main. Crazio continuing to push these Dragoons back a little bit. They need to be careful to not wander too far. Now the shuttle is out, gonna go ahead and ferry, but these are some damaged Dragoons, it looks like, and the Vultures are gonna take this opportunity to go head out onto the map. The Crazio already spotting what's up. These Dragoons have to dive in now while the rest are being ferried. Pretty good quick response there from Crazio. So while this move doesn't outright win, it does some worker damage. Number of SCVs have fallen. Couple of tanks taken out, but that is a lot of Dragoons sacrificed. But there's still a fair amount already here set up again at the front. So I mean, while it didn't win, it still looked pretty okay. Did some damage, got some workers. So the shuttles are slowly coming up the chocolate. This shuttle feels like it's moving slower than it actually should be for some reason. I mean, we're on 2 times speed and it's kind of crawling forward the tank. I don't know why the movement is quite like that. It's kind of funny to see. I guess the movement orders are so close that, like, it's actually slowing the shuttle down. But Crazio should be able to hold here a bit. It has a fair number of Vultures, a fair number of tanks here at the front. Going to be contained for a little bit, but if it doesn't bleed Vultures and bleed tanks, should be able to build up enough force to sort of push this back eventually. A couple of Goliaths out, or at least one, in order to try and keep the shuttle, the slow-moving shuttle back. It's like Stardust got an upgrade. Instead of the shuttle speed upgrade, it got the shuttle speed downgrade or something. Going ahead and taking a 5th base, I like this. It has been expanding back here. There was a Vulture somewhere, it sounds like, that just got killed. So even despite that, oh, now it's moving fast. Despite that little lift, that elevator into the main, they're not winning the game. You know, Stardust still looking to be in a pretty good position here. Maybe a bit of an overproduction of the Dragoons. Could use some more Zealots to be able to dive in on those tanks, but we do have the Arbiter now coming out. Let's see, do we have... We don't have Stasis. And it's not researching yet. We certainly have the money for it. So I guess, I mean, the Arbiter is not useless without that tech, right? Like, it still cloaks your units, forces scans, forces shuttles. And attempt to dive in here, but not really good idea. Destination is kind of a hard map to push into these naturals because your army can only go across these 2 bridges here that are very, very narrow. I think something like Stasis, or their Stasis is almost done. I was going to say some type of stasis or recall really going to be needed here, I think, to be able to move across that, but Crazio's money... Actually, with the... Crazio should have money for a little bit longer, but really is pretty heavily gassed on the... Ooh, that mine taking on a Dragoon there. And Crazio, the thing is too, that these bridges also make it hard for Crazio to push across. Crazio has mined out the mineral there and could use this back path to, like, take a 3rd and possibly a 4th, but that is being watched. So Stardust could just divert its attention if either of those bases get taken. There is still an attempt. The shuttle seems to slow down when it's, like, purposefully going to a spot while carrying something. This is kind of funny to see. Crazio, try to move across here, pulling the boys here. Got a lot of SCVs being pulled into the mix. Oh, because they want to transfer. So this base did get taken by Crazio, but not really getting up online. There's 2 Arbiters. They have some good energy on them. It looks like if I could click them, go control click. Yeah, they've got some stasis in them, but they're not using that stasis just yet. Looks like Crazio now is trying for alternate bases. But this actually will let Crazio get across the bridge here as the Protoss army diverts to deny this mineral only. Probably could have denied it with a smaller force, as Crazio really didn't commit any units to guarding it, but now Crazio's managed to get a foothold across the bridge here. So it's going to be kind of tricky for Stardust to really fight this back, but does have a wide range from which it can engage. But the army from Stardust is looking a bit smaller now. Maybe a little bit overproduction on workers here, but also just at 155 supply. Maybe... oh, this is probably it here. The gateway count, a little bit low for this stage of the game, especially with the amount of bases. But here we have some money stasis that I missed. But if those went down too fast, that's a lot of army that will unstasis at the same time. It wasn't all quite at the same time, but there really wasn't any army, like, the army that wasn't stasis really couldn't be cleared, so Stardust's army couldn't exactly position to clean up when the stasis wore off. And, also looking very, very zealot heavy right now. Before it was maybe a little bit over heavy on the goons, now it might be a little light on dragoons and needs just some more of that muscle. He's doing a really good job just slowly pushing across the map. Now, Stardust taking this base here on the left side underneath Crazio's main. Another really big I keep missing the stasis pass here. It does miss one of the science vessels, but that was a fair amount. Actually, there was like 2 stasis, I guess. Just by the fact that I think some of those units cleared up and were able to move down a bit here. Now pushing to the ramp, and this is going to work more in Terran's favor here because of the range of the siege tanks, and Protoss really doesn't have a good way or to get across this bridge or any sort of good ranged things that can work across it. And yeah, this is one of the problems that Protoss can run into with two-player maps as well. How now that Terran has camped out in front of the natural, like all of the production is trapped behind this choke, right? Because there's no other main for you to take where you can really throw down a lot of macro facilities. Now, AIs probably could be a little less impacted by that, simply because they don't have, like, their production units, or production buildings rather, being spread out, don't affect, pardon me, don't affect the speed of their macro quite as much, or really at all, compared to a human player. But yeah, all of Stardust's production facilities are back in the main. 2 of them have actually been shelled down from the low ground. Shuttle, the slow-moving shuttle has been picked off. So yeah, it's just a matter of time, I think, until Crazio is able to move across this bridge. A very good spread of mines here. Few Dragoons here trying to do something for Stardust, but going to retreat and get caught by mines. Actually, oh, there is a gateway that was built over here. And one over here, so it has a couple of production facilities. One here. Spread them out a little bit. Much of the map has been mined out as well for Stardust, but sporting a pretty big bank, which is not really able to challenge this mech army because of these choke points here. Maybe recall would be a good choice here in this type of scenario when Terran was camped out here, because with those 2 arbiters, you could recall the army like onto this other side and then engage from the much wider angle, or the like much wider open ground here, as opposed to trying to dance in front of these 2 bridges and just slowly bleeding more and more of your army and supply. Crazio here is probably going to clean this up. We'll go ahead up to 4 times speed. yeah, despite that initial, like, shuttle ferry, that elevator, not, you know, closing out the game, it still worked pretty decently, I would think. So very cool to see that sort of tech, and hopefully we'll see some good games out of Stardust with that tech, and it might force some change out of Terran AIs to sort of accommodate for the fact that that might happen to them. Fishburgers? Are there new Stargates, or... I'm not really seeing new Stargates. I wasn't sure where those Arbiters had come from, because they just kind of flew in from the north. The Wraith Bio there is like, dance, Arbiter, dance! Another couple of stasis going down, but yeah, this is this was Stardust's map, and now it has become Crazio's map. Looking at the mini map down at the bottom left corner there. Very, very cool to see. This will close out, though, game number 2 of this week's cast. And get ready to hop into our third game as these last few buildings are being cleaned up here. And so this might look a little bit different for you here. Actually, this would be an 8-player AI free-for-all. To do introductions really quick, this is on The Hunters, the original The Hunters map that comes with game of StarCraft. We've got TSC Move spawning as the blue Terran up in the top left. We've got Purple Wave spawning as the teal Protoss up in the top middle. Over in the top right, we have TSC Move Z spawning as the yellow Zerg. In the brown Zerg, we have Zerg Hell over on the right middle. Bottom right, we have Nightcat P spawning as the purple Protoss. Bottom middle, we have Steamhammer as the white Zerg. Orange Terran spawning in the bottom left, Nightcat T. And finally, but not least, in the middle left, we have TSC Moop as the red Protoss. So, I believe all of these AIs should work in a multiplayer environment. I've done TSC Moop in the past as TSC Moop Z in free-for-alls. Purple Wave, I know, works per the author, and I think I've used it before in them. We have Zerg Hell, which is mine, which should operate just fine. Nightcat P and Nightcat T are also mine, which should operate. Steamhammer is the only one I'm not exactly sure on, if it will only see one opponent or if it will actually react. It looks like we do have quick Zerglings coming out here, and they are going ahead and attacking TSC Moop here. But I can't tell if they are going to ignore... Okay, no, they did attack that SCV, so I think it is seeing other opponents. Yep, we've got some early action here going on against TSC Moop by Steamhammer. So FFAs, also just really quick, have been something that have been kind of requested and wanted to be seen. So I do have to throw a big shout out to Bytekeeper, who has worked on a tool that will work for Windows for running multiple bots a lot easier. And so actually, with version 0.3 of the BWAI shotgun software, ran this game. We might get a second one depending on how long this is and how long the cast is overall. Maybe I'll just run a second one, maybe on Big Game Hunters, with all of these same bots. One of the things I like with the Hunters is sort of like the limited money that's available, because it is a normal money map, but the gases are kind of laid out weird and such. Big Game Hunters affords 2 geysers in the main, which some AIs may take advantage of, maybe they won't. Here we have Steamhammer fighting back TSC Moop here. Looks like Purple Wave is trying to take the shared natural that it has with TSC Moop. So TSC Moop and Purple Wave may fight each other a bit here. The Dragoon TSC Moop being chased around here. Steamhammer going very aggressive, but TSC Moop on one base is holding it back. Kind of wants to take its natural, but its natural is in mineral only. Meanwhile, TSC Moop Z sitting back kind of quietly here, just getting some sunkens, looking to maybe just slowly kind of push out here. Zerg Hell is an AI, a new one that actually I put out, and I haven't listed any games for it, I don't think. but it doesn't really expand. It was a bot that I wrote with 8 hours just about of dev time, maybe just slightly more because I did have to fix one bug post-release. But it was sort of like a Marine Hell example bot, so maybe we'll do a game, probably just do another thing. Zerg Hell can have its time to show off what it does in a one-on-one later. Maybe. But yeah, so it looks like TSC Moop here is trying to take over the middle. Meanwhile, Nightcat T, the Terra Nightcat, is going ahead and taking its natural and positioning to guard that choke. Its natural is again minerals only. Long distance mining for TSC Moop P, not quite taking that base and actually expanding to the middle here, but off to the side where there is the gas and minerals. There's even some fighting here between TSC Moop and Purple Wave here. TSC Moo itself is sitting back kind of stationary. I think it's not quite sure what to do with Purple Wave expanded to its natural. The TSC Moo Z is going ahead and expanding to the gas and not to the minerals over here. But Steamhammer is fighting back here. It has cleared that middle and is now going to try and take out TSC Moop's main. Not sure what Nightcat T is doing here with the army. Maybe there was something there that, or like an Overlord might have. Yeah, an Overlord probably baited all of those Marines over there, but Steamhammer is making some progress here. We have a large amount of Hydralisks coming out here for Zerg Hell. Zerg Hell and Purple Wave are now engaging. Also, too, if you notice, I did zoom out the game footage a little bit because the bottom bar takes up so much space. But yeah, it looks like I think Purple Wave will handle this Hydra attack here pretty handily. It has a lot of Dragoons. Also, I don't have the production tab up or anything because there's no real good... Well, I guess maybe with this zoomed out a bit more, this can maybe work. I was thinking, like, it takes up a lot of space, so it's really hard to find a spot for it. Meanwhile, I totally missed I was talking about that. Nightcat T moved out and just took out Steamhammer. So big move outs happening here now. Looks like Nightcat T moving towards the center. There is a Reaver, but before it can even get a shot off, it is cleaned up. Now TSC Moo, after that Hydra attack, is taking advantage of the weakened Purple Wave Force and is moving out to try and take this natural, but Nightcat T is moving up into TSC Moop's main, meanwhile expanding to the gas-only base here. TSC Moo Z looks to be maybe trying to secure this base or so. Does have kind of like an arch or an arc going here. Maybe wants to expand, but not quite sure where to throw that hatchery, or maybe a little bit afraid because of all the fighting that's going on. Does see the carriers. Meanwhile, TC Moop cleaned up here by Nightcat T. Nightcat P down in the bottom right corner, we haven't talked about a whole lot. Seems to have a traffic jam going on. Pretty nice SimCity, though, I would say. I mean, I guess I am tooting my own horn there, but it does have this pretty bad traffic jam, so it can't really do much of anything. Meanwhile, Nightcat T now, having cleared TSC Moop, is working its way now over to TSC Moop. Oh, and Zerg Hell also attacking at the same time. So we have Nightcat T taking on Zerg Hell, very quickly cleaning up Zerg Hell's units. A lot of stimming going down. More carriers on the way for Purple. And actually in that top left corner, I think that production tab kind of works. So let me know if you like in these sort of FFAs, the zoom level, if that works for you, if that's too distracting. A double expand going on for Nightcat T, taking Steamhammer's old base plus this gas only, the way it's positioning. It probably sees this as multiple bases. Looks like, oh, gonna expand here too. So Nightcat T is just tearing away here, going into the Purple Waves natural base here. A lot of Mutalisks out though for TSC Moo Z. I'm like trying to keep track of who everybody is with all this action going on. 25 Mutalisks out, but still just the one base. Took a lot of damage there, but Nightcat T seems to have backed off of that for now and is now pressing into Purple Wave's main. The carriers being pushed back. Eminem's actually surprisingly effective against carriers. They can, with their DPS, shoot down interceptors very quickly, and the carriers are trying to like run away into TSC Moo's base here. which is probably not exactly where you want to run, especially as your buildings are getting destroyed here. Purple Wave about to be eliminated from the match, or just gets eliminated now, so those carriers will now idle until they get cleaned up. Poor Nightcat Protoss, they're just stuck with that. Like, nobody's bothered to attack Nightcat Protoss, so it's just like, I'm stuck with this traffic jam. Has a lot of banked minerals and gas, though, so could potentially do something if that gets... Oh, it looks like Nightcat T is coming down now to fight. There's the long chain here that's kind of engaging a little bit with some of TSMUZ's units. And actually, Nightcat T expanding in the face, the Bad Manner expand of the Protoss variant of Nightcat here. Look at that production queue. All those Dragoons now being made because of the units falling. Meanwhile, Zerg is still producing some Hydralisks here. But yeah, Nightcat Protoss out of resources to mine, out of resources to spend. Now, very quickly spent all those resources on Dragoons, which are just getting shredded by these Marines. We take a look at the upgrades real quick. Just 1-1 across the board, it looks like, for Nightcat T. It looks like it never got the science facility, it just couldn't fit it, I guess. I'm surprised it didn't get it at any other bases, but... Nightcat T will finish cleaning up here. TSMUZ has taken more of a presence on the map, but some tanks here and there, cleaning up some of the units. It looks like TSMU, yeah, has the minerals to expand, but is sitting back. Nightcat T, meanwhile, now coming in to strike on Zerghel. Just kind of pushing back TSMUZ's force. But TSMUZ is very spread here. Like, with where its units are, it's just kind of interesting to see that it is doing that. But Nightcat T is just sort of taking over more and more of the map. So it just keeps throwing down supply depots, even though it's at 200, so that might be something that would probably need to be fixed at some point. Actually, what are the workers at? 65 workers. See, I did want, I was trying to get Crazio into this free-for-all, but I can't quite get it to work with the BWAI shotgun software just yet. So I'm working with Keeper to try and figure out exactly, you know, what we need to do or if something needs to be tweaked. I think it's the latency frames right now that's maybe the problem, because I think it's given LF6 instead of LF3. But still, it's just crazy to be able to run this way easier than I used to in the past when I would run like a big 8 AI free-for-all. Yeah, but it looks like TSMUZ's army is a bit spread here. It is engaging with Nightcat T, but it's trying to defend. It expanded to Purple Wave's old base, which barely has any minerals left in it. And Nightcat T's army is marching over there with the tanks, medics, and marines. Just the extractor is left. And now TSMU, with TSMUZ being eliminated, actually is long-distance mining here. But this huge army of Nightcat T, this 200 army, is just sort of marching down right now. And there just is not... Oops, I didn't even close that. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to close that. But, ooh, the mines, though. Getting some good kills. Another expansion go down for Nightcat T is just taking over the map right now. Most of the production queue taking up the whole top. Yeah, with that TSU taps out and gives the game to Nightcat. Very exciting free-for-all there. Yeah, I think maybe I'll try and run another one with these same AIs on big game hunters and see if the less limited resources makes this play out any. Because I mean, part of the fun of like a normal money map for this sort of free-for-all is that, you know, expanding does become important and AIs can't just turtle on one base and gather forever and you know, continue to fight. But Hunters also does have its imbalances as well, like the two bases sharing this one natural, right? The top mid and the top left. This natural, like not having any gas, and I think there are versions that fix that, so maybe I'll use those in the future. But for today, I think we'll try a big game hunter free for all with these AIs and see how that plays out. And so our last game of today, same AIs, but on big game hunters where they have a lot more minerals, 2 geysers, more bases have gas, etc. We have Nightcat P spawning as the yellow Protoss up at the top left. Up at the top middle, we have Zerg in the blue Zerg. Teal Terra, Nightcat T over in the top right. Middle right, TSC Mu P as the red Protoss. Bottom right, orange Terran, TSC Mu. Bottom middle, purple wave Protoss. Bottom left in the brown Zerg, TSC Mu Z. And over in the left middle, we have Steamhammer spawning as the white Zerg. So let's see how we've got different layouts, or different spawn positions, different map. We'll see how it plays out here. A lot of the different AIs going ahead and doing their scouting here. So a lot of different workers scattering around. A lot of the early structures under production here. Looks like Purple Wave going for a fast expansion here, which might pay off here. Even though the resources are kind of unlimited on big game hunters, it'd still be a good idea to go ahead and try and grab an extra base here, just to increase that income potential. The scout there from a Cat P getting chased by the Zerglings from TSC Mu Z, and now running into Steamhammer's Zergling. So it looks like Steamhammer has chosen to target TSC Mu Z first. Some scouting workers still going around for various AIs. It's possible TSC Mu is only really seeing or focusing on one AI. It's still kind of hard to tell just from these two games, but TSC Mu Z is kind of getting wrecked here, losing a lot of drones, which is really, really bad here for Zerg. So getting that Zergling rush action here. You know, Zerg Hell hiding behind those 4 Sunkens. Oh, wait. Steamhammers. Oh, because, okay, so TSC Mu Z tapped out. Steamhammer immediately changing who they're focusing on, it looks like. Going after TSC Mu now. Or, okay, wait. They are attacking, sort of. But maybe it was just idle attacking. Okay, you know what? Steamhammer might not actually react to other AIs. So yeah, this is like, so some people are like, oh, just throw the AIs into like free-for-all and stuff like that. Well, where is this SC? Alright then. That was kind of interesting. Being fought back there. Purple Wave really far away from its bases as well. Fighting this back. But yeah, I think Steamhammer does not actually recognize the other players in the game. But that's why you can't just really just throw any AI into like a situation like this, right? Like they have to be built to actually play these sort of scenarios. So I tried to kind of custom pick the AIs for that, but Steamhammer apparently was a bad guess for this. But Marine's doing a good... Oh, we're doing a good job of stopping those mines, but there's some mines that do connect. TSC Moo plays super defensively in these scenarios, which is kind of interesting. TSC Moo P seems to be doing okay, but is not expanding at the moment. I'm kind of caught between running right into Nightcat T's base for some reason. Perhaps running away from Purple Wave's army. Purple Wave just sort of tearing apart the Nightcat T forces. Nightcat P running into this problem again with the concave. Not being able to get out. Purple Wave looks like maybe positioning to clear. We got some tanks firing on TSC Moo P here. Yeah, Purple Wave with the carriers again. Steamhammer is just like expanding, like I don't know what's going on here. Okay, the little traffic jam kind of clears up here for Nightcat P, but still not really doing too much. Purple Wave actually being pushed back a bit here by the Hydras from Zerghel. And the Hydra's actually coming up to Nightcat T, who was being a bit distracted by some Mutalisks there, it looked like. Now coming back down towards the middle here, engaging with Purple Wave's forces. Steamhammer kind of just acting as a distraction in this match, it looks like, at the moment. Purple Wave getting the army here to clear this up. A lot of upgrades around the board for the various players here. It's like they recognize that there's danger, so they're burrowing and hiding, but they don't recognize that they actually, like, could fight it, I guess. Meanwhile, TSC Moo's, like, trying to clear this natural area, but it's not, like, taking it. It's not actually building a base. Nightcat T keeps sending troops down there for I don't know what reason. Purple Wave, though, looking to clear out Steamhammer here. This bottom left portion of the map left clear. Looks like Purple Wave wants to engage again with Zerghel here. I think has the forces this time to clear things out. Zerghel only utilizing the one gas is very gas starved here. Can't really produce the Hydralisks that it wants to produce. Meanwhile, TSC Moo's army's been pretty cleared out by TSC Moo here. Purple Wave's just kind of posturing here. I'm gonna go ahead and back off, perhaps because of the TSC Moo in the middle. We do have a decent number of carriers here for Purple Wave. We've got 8 carriers out on the field. Arbiter Tech on the way, a 9th carrier started here. Protoss just converge on that tank, take it out, and then engage with each other. TSC Moo trying to use this opportunity to move out a little bit, but not quite able to do so. Trying to push out into this natural choke, but some of Purple Wave's forces. Purple Wave engaging on multiple fronts, actually doing very well here in this free-for-all. Managing multiple fronts against multiple opponents here. Nightcat T doing another strange move out. I think Nightcat T is trying to expand like this base for some reason, just constantly trying to expand there. Taking out an observer there. The capital ship fleet here for Purple Wave getting over top of TSC Moo's base. Storms going down on the workers. I don't think this is going too well for TSC Moo, but this is Big Game Hunters, and without delivering the killing blow there, actually these Goliaths doing some work on Purple Wave's army. The interceptor count kind of going down a little bit. It's staying a little bit steady though. Some of the carriers being targeted though. And now Nightcat T is deciding, you know what, I want to take this middle base. It's not alright with you guys if I do that. Steamhammer, meanwhile, just sending the occasional ones out. I feel bad because I didn't know Steamhammer wouldn't perform right on free-for-all, but I thought maybe it might, so I would give it a try. Meanwhile, actually, Zerg Hell with some Hydralisks here managed to tear down Purple Wave's natural and deal some damage on the main, but it's not enough to actually clear it. Nightcat T and Nightcat P now engaging in some fighting. Perhaps Nightcat T going, okay, well, I could... Well, it is taking the middle again. It's getting that command center up. It's trying to do what it can. It's building some more macro facilities now. Purple Wave retaking this natural here. Oh, the command center in the center doesn't quite get finished. TSC Mu now actually moving out into the middle. Purple Wave with the carrier Arbiter fleet trying to secure this natural. It's kind of funny to see because like where Nightcat T in the normal Hunters map like expanded and was taking all the bases on all over the map from this bottom left position here, this top right position it seems to be struggling to take an appropriate base. Some Zerglings from Steamhammer just drawing some fire from the two players here as they fight. Really, I think the three major powers here are kind of Purple Wave, TSC Mu, and TSC Mu. They're kind of the three that are like really battling it out here. Large worker transfer here from Nightcat T, but all the workers just get devastated here by Purple Wave. We've got Zerg Hell coming out with another wave of Hydralisks here, entering into the mix. But I don't think the Hydralisks really have raids. Oh, no, they just have range and speed. So, but they are kind of pushing Purple Wave's Dragoons back here, which are on +2 weapons. I don't see armor upgrade or the ground forces. So, ooh, a nice couple storms there, just whoops, destroying the Hydralisks. Let me just move that back into that top left corner there. So very nice storms from Purple Wave, putting an end to that Hydralisk wave. Oh, but more of the Hydralisks actually got distracted here, coming up into Steamhammer's natural and clearing that out. Now going off to harass something else. Nightcat T trying to take this middle again here. TSC Mu long distance mining from the natural as well. It might be thinking that's part of its main base or something. Oh, Nightcat T starting to get the tanks that it needs to actually pose a viable force here. Meanwhile, TSC Mu kind of keeping Purple Wave's carriers back at home. Nightcat P not really being much of a factor. It's kind of stuck with that traffic jam again, up in that top left position. How many carriers is this? It's like 14 carriers here. It's just a crazy force. Stasis going down on the tank. Stasis its own Arbiter on accident. But even so, the tank's just stuck from frozen horror watching the two Protoss forces battle it out right on top of them. Scans going down. For some reason, there's a refinery here. Who knows? It is just absolute chaos with everybody fighting. Another Hydralisk wave coming down toward Purple Wave here. And it is reaching the natural, and Purple Wave is actually stuck engaging with TSC Mu. Good storms, though. Whoa. Tons of Hydralisks falling here. TSC Moop coming in, though, after those storms are spent with some Zealots. A few more Hydralisks join the fray, but I don't think they're really going to do too much damage here. And now, it seems like TSC Mu is struggling. Does take out a carrier there, but is struggling to really get much of an army. We've got a Stasis here knocking out about 3 Dragoons. Now TSC Moo choosing to push into TSC Moo. Nightcat T trying to take the center yet again. Will encounter some resistance from TSC Moo. Nightcat B 34,000 minerals, 8,000 gas because it can't get out of its base for whatever reason. It's just hilarious. Purple Wave also has quite the bank too, but it's been at 200, which is probably why it's got that bank going. Right now it is kind of just sitting back with its army, letting the other players fight it out for a bit. Nightcat T still trying to secure this base here, but the worker transfer happening against the command center was able to be completed. But Nightcat T just kind of holding on to this base until Purple Wave, I guess, decides to go ahead and erase it. There is a Dark Templar somewhere up. Okay, so now Purple Wave coming into the center base here. We've also got a Hydralisk Wave, so this center is just getting hit from almost everybody. TSC Noob kind of staying back a little bit, though. We got the Hydras coming in from the north, Purple Wave coming in from the south. TSC Noob actually attacking the main. Now, it might clear this out. There's a lot for TSC Noob, but not a lot for, and they're actually +3 weapons with no armor upgrades. So they are kind of shredding the Terran force here. Huge stasis coming down on the Hydralisks there. Now the stasis wears off. The Hydralisks, though not really focus firing, will be cleaned up pretty quick. A few carriers engaging with the Goliaths here. Looks like the Goliaths are targeting down the interceptors, and some of the carrier are going to take a few of them out. Purple Wave has tons of resources. The rest of Purple Wave's army coming in here, though, from that center base after having cleared it. Maybe looking to try and take out TSC Moo. Maybe gonna press the issue into the main. It looks like Nightcat T, the remnants of it are being taken out here by TSC Moop. So another player is down now. Also, these AIs that are playing are fresh downloads off the SSCAIT website, so these are the latest versions of these AIs playing in these free-for-alls here. Looks like Steam Hammer trying to expand again. TSC Moop, there it goes ahead and kills that. TSC Moop looking to clear Zerghel from the game, so TSC Moop is kind of just working its way counterclockwise around the map, taking out AIs. A lot of drones suddenly being built, because there's a lot of minerals for Zerghel, but not a lot of Vespene gas, trying to replace those workers that were getting killed. Purple Wave, meanwhile, pulling the boys here, bringing all of the probes into the fight. What is... Dragoons just falling. We've got stasis down, like storms flying. What is happening here? These Dragoons don't even know what to do. Stasis goes down, captures a few interceptors too. The probes just in the fight. Purple Wave just said, screw it, everything is a military unit at this point in time. I mean, it does have 49 probes, so it's pretty effective there. It actually... Zerghel maybe survives for a bit longer here. It might not quite be able to clear these final units, though. Purple Wave now drawing its attention over to Steam Hammer here. Kills a few things, but now it's going to pull back, I think, to engage with TSC Moop again, who has replenished a good chunk of that army that got cleared out. TSC Moo's still alive in this, working off of 5 factories here on the one base. I think Zerghel is slowly bleeding minerals as these drones die, and it's not quite able to replenish the minerals that it is losing. There are still 2 Sunkens, but yeah, I don't think Zerghel is really going to be able to recover unless those Dragoons get dealt with. Purple Wave trying to clear this up. Oh, TSC Moop actually trying to expand here now in the center. There's Dark Templar. This observer needs to get over there to see it, but it keeps backing off. There we go. Now it does see it. We'll clear it up. But now the carrier army for Purple Wave comes in. and will clear that center nexus very quickly. While some TSC Mu Goliaths come up here to engage. But Goliaths don't really trade all that well with Dragoons, so that is going to get cleared. Steamhammer just expanding in front of Zerghel and TSC Mu. There are no more, it looks like, drones mining minerals. So this Dragoon is going to pretty much be free to clean that up, except for maybe that sunken that's there. TSC Mu trying to take the center base again. That looks like, but Purple Wave's on 15 carriers right now. TSC Mu actually coming down to focus on TSC Mu here. Getting into the main. I don't think TSC Mu is going to be able to really repel this. I mean, maybe. Maybe not quite dead. Is taking some critical damage there. We've got the dancing Dragoons here of Nightcat P. They're just kind of stuck. This Dragoon that's just firing away at this hatchery. Yeah, I mean, TSC Moop is looking pretty strong, but the carriers from Purple Wave are just really scary, even with this high number of Dragoons that TSC Moop has, with 38 of them. Some of them, though, are down here in TSC Mu's base. It looks like the one that was harassing Zerghel has been taken out. There are no more drones from Zerghel, so Zerghel is effectively out of the game. The middle nexus getting destroyed here. Carrier, it sounds like, went down. There's still a lot of them. They're being replaced very quickly. Actually, Purple Wave going to be up to 16 carriers when these two that are producing finish. Another stasis goes down on the Dragoons there. Looks like TSC Mu, all of the workers have died, so TSC Mu probably will tap out soon. No money to replace those workers, so it probably just needs to lose a few more buildings before it actually decides to tap out. There is, though, a Dark Templar sneaking in here to go ahead and try and clear out these Dragoons. Dragoons trying to dodge. Actually, they're doing a pretty good job of dodging there. Then this Observer kind of came into range, but then started to back away. Meanwhile, Purple Wave manages to clear the center. Another stasis going off on the Dragoons here. Purple Wave just keeps fighting this back and then turning its attention towards Steamhammer, but then TSC Moop is able to just produce enough units to sort of pull the attention back. TSC Moop does leave the game. Is the GG exits out here. But now Purple Wave actually getting an opportunity to go ahead and clear. TSC Moop is kind of low on minerals here, I think just because it's operating on the one base with only 24 workers at this point. Could support a lot more on the one base on this map. Poor Steamhammer just panicking because it doesn't understand the concept of multiple enemies. The army for Nightcat P moves around a little bit here. I'm not really sure why it's hung up like it is. But it is hung up a little bit here. Looks like Purple Wave has turned its attention back to TSC Moop, while TSC Moop has taken up the banner of clearing. Steamhammer, more stasis going down. Everybody's doing a good job of staying alive too. This one especially is pretty heavily damaged. Avoiding that fatal damage. Again, maybe the other one got picked off, so maybe they're not doing as good of a job as I thought they were. Next, there's an Arbiter under construction now. Purple Wave retreating for a moment to recollect itself. Deciding to come back out onto the map here. So really the two major players here right now are TSC Moop, I think, and Purple Wave, and if Nightcat P decides to do anything, I mean, it's got a ton of resources to where it could potentially do some stuff, and actually, it's at 3-3 right now. Purple Wave is now at 3-3 for ground forces, it looks like, but got some good upgrades there from Nightcat P. It looks like Purple Wave has pulled the boys again. What's coming up to this top right here, but the top right is basically clear. I wonder about this worker pool, though. Purple Wave is watching the cast, he could probably talk about it. And I imagine it's probably like a bit of like a YOLO thing. Like, it's got 41,000 minerals, 9,000 gas. It does not need workers right now, right? The workers coming up and tickling this, the hatchery of Zerg Hell here. Now the fleet of Purple Wave clearing out the last remnants of Steamhammer, but now actually pulling back here because of these couple of Dragoons that are found in the center from TSC Moop. TSC Moop is really low on workers. I'm not sure exactly when that happened, but it's not producing any more workers. Or, okay, now it is producing more workers, so it's... Oh, there may have been storm drops on the worker front. And that just decimated TSC Moop, Dark Templar, and they're finishing off the last cube probe. So TSC Moop probably going to tap out here pretty soon. Up in there it goes ahead, gives the GG, can't make any more workers. Recognizes there's no point to trying to carry on. Purple Wave now coming to clean up the last bit here of Steamhammer. Drones burrow when the first one gets killed, but the last building gets cleared, and Steamhammer will be defeated with this burrowed. Drones the last thing standing. Purple Wave gonna come up here and looks like gonna clean up Zerg Hell's base. More larvae are going to be... Oh, wait, no, carriers were kind of killing them, but going to be left to... I can go quick them. Crawl around on the disappearing creep until they die from the lack of creep. Now we have Purple Wave and Nightcat P's armies engaging. Nightcat P quickly replacing units that are falling here. Storm's going down, which actually might be impacting Purple Wave a little bit more with the interceptors, but just this number of carriers just quickly chewing through the Dragoons that are not target firing anything. And looks like Purple Wave will be the winner in this free-for-all here on Big Game Hunter, so really cool to see. I'd like to do some more of these sometimes. Of course, still will be looking for those recommended games in the replays channel, but these are pretty fun to watch and to cast, and since they're a lot easier to run now, you know, maybe we'll see a few more of these. So let me know, you know, in the comments, the video, or the live chat, you know, what you think, if you really enjoy watching these free-for-alls or not. As we can see, sometimes they run a bit longer, sometimes, you know, they can be a little shorter. Do you prefer them on the normal money maps? Do you prefer them on the mass money maps? I know there are maps that are, like, really large, that are made for, like, big game free-for-alls. I don't know how the AIs would perform on those maps. So maybe I can, like, experiment and see if I can get a good game out of that sort of thing. With some AIs, I'll have to find an AI for the 8th slot, or try and get Crazio, or I should say, try to get BWAI Shotgun to work with Crazio. But, yeah, we'll see. This was a lot of fun here. Purple Wave just cleaning up the last little bit here. I'll go ahead and speed it up to 4x while it's doing that. And while it's finishing up the last few buildings here, I do want to say, you know, thank you everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate the viewership, and there is the Patreon if you want to contribute and help support the SSCAIT tournament. You know, there's also links down below, I believe, to the SSCAIT Discord. I'll put a link to the BWAI Shotgun GitHub as well, so you can check out what I use to run these free-for-all games yourself. Dark Templars are going to finish off the last few buildings while the carriers mysteriously return home for whatever reason. But and while these last little bits are cleaned up, the zealots surrounding the Dark Templar and they're getting killed. This might be a while. I was gonna do the outro. Finish that. There we go. The carriers are back again. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and until next time, take care, everyone.